First, live, local. This is a Fox 12 First Alert Weather Day.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler here in our Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we are every weekday for Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us. It is a First Alert Weather Day. We are anticipating we're going to break an over 50-year-old heat record today when it comes to the temperature. I don't believe it's happened yet, but when it does, we'll let you know. But obviously a sign that we are fully entering into the summer wildfire season as well, so a lot of things to think about. In Washington County now has a burn ban in effect associated with that and a lot more. We're going to talk about that. We've got the Deputy Chief of Operations for Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, Alex Haven, joining us, and great to have you on here to talk about this and to go through everything. I think, I want to get into the burn ban. If you don't mind, before we start, would you mind introducing yourself and just your role there with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good afternoon. Again, my name is Alex Haven, the Deputy Chief Operations for Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue. My role is to oversee the day-to-day operations of our fire district, and also to coordinate with our mutual aid fire agencies, across, for our service area, 4 counties: Washington County, Multnomah, Yamhill County, and Clackamas County. Operations, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that's a big area there that you're covering.
Yeah, 390 square miles. So it's a lot to cover and a lot of different geography.
Yeah, you're covering kind of the whole gamut right there for this section of Oregon, between all of those counties. So a lot to factor in. And can you tell us about, this burn ban that's gone into effect there for Washington County?
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into that leading up to the fire season. We have monthly, we call Fire Defense Board meetings, which are all the fire agencies in a particular county. It's part of the Oregon State Fire Marshal's mutual aid system and how they're structured. And so, the local fire response and then the overall mutual aid systems governed kind of in the county by the county fire defense boards. And so, as I talked about, 390 square miles in 4 counties, we are represented in, all 4 of those fire defense boards. So we do a lot of conversation leading up to the fire season, just about the fire conditions. And then we collaborate very closely with ODF to understand when they go into burn restriction. So leading up to this fire season, it's what we call, we're entering into fire season today, actually. That was a close collaborative effort across all of the counties and then ODF in the region to understand what the best timing was. And just given the potential for this summer, we decided that this year we'd go in on the 15th.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of us we've been covering it, at least here, and hearing from all kinds of different organizations. Sounds like pretty much all the ones that you're talking to, just about that concern for this year of the potential for those wildfires. So that's really interesting that you're all working together to come up with this. Now, when we do have a ban like this go into effect, can you, for people out there, especially those who live in Washington County, can you walk us through, what that entails, what that covers when it comes to a burn ban?
Yeah, absolutely. So we focus on prohibiting burning in backyard or open burning of domestic waste, yard debris, or similar materials, ag burning, which a lot of areas of our service area out in the rural areas, agricultural burnings, very critical, just keeping land, clear. And then any other land clearing / stump waste, debris, or control burns. So really it's the, burn piles that are allowed out into the rural areas. We start to close those down as we get into burn season. And then what we do not restrict is small outdoor cooking, warming, or recreational fires during the burn ban.
So walking through that. So that means anybody, in their backyards, as far as, certainly the agricultural burns, but also, some of those other things for the backyard. You mentioned some of the things they can do. Could we walk through, specifically what somebody would be allowed to do in their backyard when it comes to this?
Yeah, sometimes barbecuing. We allow barbecuing as long as it's in a well-groomed area, a campfire, as long as it's in a contained pit that's not surrounded by vegetation. Things like that are under the control, kind of the recreational small, for small gatherings.
Okay, so a backyard campfire, as long as it's maintained and controlled, somebody could do that. What are some general maybe tips and tricks or advice that you would have that people could follow to make sure that they're staying safe, even with those things?
Yeah, a lot of times during the summer, propane, well, yeah, anything that's propane, fire pits or barbecues, just making sure your propane tank is, in a shaded area or covered area, because a lot of times those, if they're exposed to direct sunlight, can off gas. If you're doing a open fire pit, just making sure that you've got good rock, or you've got a hose that's nearby and there isn't overhanging shrubs or debris that's nearby that could catch fire. So we just really focus on that, groomed, keeping it away from homes, making sure that debris is clear, and then keep fires as small as reasonable.
Yeah. Is it human-caused fires? Is that one of the biggest concerns that you all have?
Yeah, when we start to get into the summer, yes, human-caused fires from reckless burning, and then we pay close attention to the weather, because lightning can always definitely comes with wind, so it can create fires. Fortunately, in this area, the Portland Metro, we don't get a ton of lightning, but as we start to get into fire season, the weather is also a concern.
Yeah, and I know we've got an extended period, it sounds like, without any precipitation, so things are just going to get drier and drier, most likely. What else do you think is important that people should know, either about the burn ban or just general safety?
Yeah, it's really good. We, part of the decision to go on the 15th, historically in the last few years, we have experienced increased fires when we go into the burn ban, because the burn ban was later into the season, and a lot of the fires that we go on are what we call holdovers. So somebody will burn, they'll have a fire burn pile, do everything right, but it just continues to burn underground. And then as the winds and the hot temperatures start to kick up, it'll reignite, nobody's around, and then it ends up catching the surrounding vegetation on fire. And so I just, one of the recommendations, if you've been burning right up into the burn ban, or even in the last couple of weeks, that you still continue to monitor your fire pits. And then it's, if you see something, it's about early recognition and ensuring that we get the resources there. So if you see smoke, especially during the burn ban, and you're not sure what it is, don't hesitate to call it in.
Yeah, that was my next question, actually, is what should people do, or what's the threshold of making a phone call to where they should be calling you all to come out? I mean, I'm sure as many resources as you have, you're all very busy. So I think, understanding when somebody should call would be great.
Yeah, it definitely helps to confirm it. But when in doubt, especially during this time of year, we don't typically see a ton of smoke that's supposed to be there. So I think confirming it, if you're not sure, call. And then, we've got resources working through our dispatch center that if it's a fire, or if it's an incident that we've predicted or that we're already on scene, we have ways of de-escalating that or notifying people. So
try to confirm, but if you're seeing smoke,
yep.
Worst case, call in.
Yep.
Yeah, better safe than sorry kind of situation. Yep. Seems like. Well, any other advice that you have for everyone out there, or somewhere that they can go to find out more information?
You can definitely go to our website at www.tvfr.com. And we've got resources there that can walk you through, responsible burning, or if you're not 100% sure what to do in given scenarios, there's a lot of information on our website. And I think the big thing is just, it is going to be a warm summer. We try not to predict what's going to happen, because you never know, but we definitely try to be prepared. And we do rely on our communities to help us with that. And just ask that people be responsible this summer.
Yeah. Being responsible, it seems like, can actually help out a lot of things. And even if it's, just understanding and knowing what's going on. Well, and this helps us out tremendously too, having you on to do that. So thank you very much, for joining us and for getting the information out there. The fire ban is in effect, so people know that now. And just be safe out there. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.